Morning guys, Morn here. Today I want to talk about my Infernal Blade Vortex Chieftain. So with this build we combine insane AoE clear with pretty good boss damage, especially when enemies are nearby. We use the Infernal Cry for the clear of the screen because Infernal Cry can be scaled to pretty insane numbers. Infernal Cry deals percent of the enemy health damage, and this means when we scale enough damage we go over 100% and a single white mob can explode other white mobs and a few white mobs can explode blue packs and so on. So this leads to explosions that can one-shot map bosses and pretty much anything that we want. On this character we took everything we can to increase our AoE and lots of general damage and fire damage to increase the explosion. This however means that our single target lags quite a bit. I mean, it's still okay when we invest a lot, but it's not as insane as like Blade Vortex Assassin or stuff like that that only goes for lots of damage. So quite a fun thing is, as you see, popping legions is pretty easy. We use the Chieftain because it converts a part of our physical damage to fire damage, so we don't have to use Avatar of Fire. In addition to that, it provides great offense and quite a bit defense through regeneration and physical damage reduction overall.
I cannot do this yet.
So let's take a quick look at my gear. I currently use a bow with +1 to socketed gems, spell gems and +1 to socketed support gems. This bow is not finished yet and I will make a video about every single gear piece and how to craft it separately because that would, well, take like 40 minutes or stuff like that. Yeah, I use this bow. Later on it's +2 socketed support gems and chance to deal double damage, and when I find it, a spider aspect. Then the body armor is a carcass jack, nothing special here. The quiver is a black gleam. I currently did not find the upgrade yet, which is quite sad because it's a huge damage boost. And it's so easy to get usually. For the helmet I use Rimnor's Resolve. So this helm seems kind of underwhelming, but the cannot be chilled or frozen if you have used the fire skill recently makes so that if we walk right, which we always do, so we don't need a chill or freeze immune flask, which means we have one more flask available. For the gloves I use general fingerless silk gloves. These have yet to be crafted to insane levels, but yeah, this is not currently my project. Then I use a heavy belt with some life and strength and a bit of cooldown reduction. This one will be replaced through through a Stygian Vice, which will have the Shaper or Hunter influence, I think, for 20% cooldown reduction, but this has yet to be made. My boots are just boots with lots of movement speed, lots of resistances and life. So these will later on have Tailwind as well, but I currently don't have the Hunter Orb to create those. I most likely do them with these. Then we go for the ring. I have one ring with just fire damage, life and stuff like that. This one will be replaced soon because I currently am crafting rings. My better ring currently is this beast. It has pretty much everything and is kinda easy to craft. So when you get to the crafting video I will release in a few days, well, get yourself a ring. Then the amulet currently is bricked because I removed the +1 dex gems accidentally, but yeah, I will remake the amulet today hopefully. Then I have immune to bleed flask. This one is pretty much in every single of my builds aside from energy shield builds. A movement speed flask because this character is made to clear fast, so we want more movement speed. Cinder Swallow, it gives a lot of damage and very good survivability because all enemies we kill are ignited through Herald of Ash, so we gain lots of life back when we kill enemies. Now we get the Wise Oak. You want to triple balance your resistances for this. I currently don't because I'm doing a lot of gear changes, but yeah, It gives a lot of damage and good survivability. And then we got the immune to curse Stibnite Flask that you find on every single build of mine, which is just a very good defensive flask. For the gems I use Blade Vortex with Unleash, Control Destruction, Intensify, Empower and Elemental Focus. So the Intensify is, well, can be good, can sometimes be bad. You get a good AoE, and the Blade Vortex snapshots your Intensify, so when you run around you still have 4 stacks even when you don't see them, but when we now recast we are 1 stack. Does not matter how many we had before. For Infernal Cry setup we use Infernal Cry, Second Wind, Elemental Focus and increase AoE. When you get the 6th link you want Combustion and then Fire Penetration as well. Yeah, that's just for one-shotting everything. Then we've got Wave of Conviction, Cosmic Damage Taken, Combustion and Summon Skitterbots. You want to take out the Cosmic Damage Taken when fighting zeros and stuff like that. For the builds we have Enduring Cry, Dash, Second Wind and Clarity. And then the Helmet, Herald of Ash, Immortal Call, Increased Duration and Righteous Fire, with Val Righteous Fire for bosses. The Skitterbots later on are out when we get the Spider aspect, because they reserve less mana and I really would like some more mana for casting. For the skill tree we start at the Marauder and go for some fire damage and life, and then we take the Warcry nodes here and here. We could take these, but these are very point intensive, because here we get life nodes and stuff like that all the time, so it's not that bad, but here we get pretty much nothing for 7 points, which is a lot. Then up here we scale lots of fire damage and AoE for the explosions. Here I use an Unnatural Instinct. You don't have to use this. If you don't have an Unnatural Instinct you just want these 3 nodes and be happy. This pretty much sums up my skill tree overall. For the Ascendancy we want Valako because it gives lots of defense, and with Mortal Call on left click we gain the 15% more damage you've lost an endurance charge in the last 8 seconds pretty much all the time. Then you want Tazalio because it gives a lot of fire resistance. Well, I have a little bit too much of that currently, but it also gives life regeneration and good defense with physical damage taken as fire and increased life recovery rate. For Ramako it gives lots of penetration. That's pretty much all we want. And Nagamao gives the 50% fire damage conversion we need because the Quiver only gives the other half, and 100% extra physical as fire damage for 4 seconds every 10 seconds. This is a huge damage boost against bosses when you have it up. Many use Heinekara as well. We don't. We later on want Life Leech or Fire Leech on the amulet, but I currently break my amulet so I don't have it. But we don't need it as well because you have so much life regeneration and the flask. And you gain 10% life whenever you use a Warcry, which is, well, all the time. And Enduring Cry keeps you up as well, so you don't necessarily need the leech, but it's a great defense. So the next video that will come up will be the crafting. I don't know yet if I will do all the items at once or one by one, because there's many steps involved. Everybody can do them, but it's a long process. So thanks for watching and see you next time.